dear students. Today we are going to discuss a topic called sampling and non-sampling error. So in this presentation, we are going to discuss what is actually sampling error and what are the reason for the sampling error and what is non-sampling error and what are the types of non-sampling error and what are actually the reason for non-sampling error as well. So without any further delay, we will straight away move on to sampling error. Sampling error is nothing but it's a statistical error which actually arising out of what whenever you are collecting the samples and that sample some of the samples if it is not representative of the total population, this kind of error can occur. I'll explain with the help of a simple example. You want to study the AI usage of PG students in a particular institutions, or how the PG students are integrating AI in their studies or academics or something like that, and you are collecting information only from PG students. So what happened is that whenever the sampling error here is that if you are collecting information from UG students or maybe PUC students or P plus two students, this is not going to be your population. So if you are selecting samples which is not representative of your population, the sampling error can occur. In this particular example, your population is actually PG students and the sample is also going to be PG students. So instead of PG students, you are taking what UG students or maybe plus two or any other category of students, which is actually not your population and it is not representative of your population. And when you are collecting information from this kind of this set of people or this set of sample which is not representative of your original population, this may lead to what sampling error. So it's a statistical error only. This error arises whenever you are selecting sample which is not a true representation of your total population. Now we will discuss what are the reason for sampling error. The major reason for sampling error is that whenever you are drawing various sampling from what the same population units, but if the units are having what individual variance, uh, then definitely the sampling error occurs. Along with that, you can also see if you are using a defective sample design or a faulty demarcation or something like that, or if you are choosing a wrong statistics, or if you are using a wrong sampling technique also, sometimes it will leads to what sampling error. This wrong sampling technique also one of the major reason for what the sampling error. So but the major cause is nothing but whenever you are drawing the sampling units from the same population, but if the units may have individual variance, if that is the case, most of the time you can expect a sampling error. And we will be defining what is non-sampling error also. So non-sampling error is nothing but it is an umbrella term. It is used for any error that occurs other than that of what sampling error. So whatever error occurs than that of what sampling error, we can put it as what non-sampling error. So that's why it is termed as an umbrella term. Any error than that of the sampling error can be termed as non-sampling error. It can be related to error in problem definition, error in questionnaire, error in your research design approach, error in what the information that is provided by respondents, error in your tabulation, error in your codings, error in your analysis. All those things can be categorized as non-sampling error. Okay. What are the types of non-sampling error we do have? We do have basically response error and non-response error. So what is response error? So response error is an error which occurs due to inaccurate answers that is given by a respondent, or their answers are misinterpreted by the investigator or recorded wrongly. So response error, as the name indicate, it can be because of the respondents, or it can be because of what wrong recording done by the investigator, or misinterpreted by the investigator. So basically the response errors are categorized into three, that is researcher's error, and then respondent error, and interviewer error. So researcher error is nothing but what, if it can be sampling error also, it can be measurement error, it can be a data analysis error, it can be a population definition error, it can be a problem definition error. A researcher error is if error that is committed by the researcher or the investigator himself. Say if he is not defining the problem properly, that may lead to an error. The faulty sampling design may leads to what, no, what this kind of issues. Then data analysis related errors, if he is making committing, then that is also related to what the researchers error only. Then we do have what respondent error also. So respondent error is a error that is made by the respondent. Sometimes if the respondents are illiterate, if they have inability to understand the question itself. So inability errors are the errors that is made by the respondent. If you in your questionnaire, if you are using technical jargons in there, if it is very difficult for them to understand, and they took it in a different way, and they answered in a different way, that may lead to respondent error. Then unwillingness error. Sometimes if you are sending a questionnaire to a respondent, and they are not interested to fill it. So you can take the example of what whenever you are doing a research which is having a questionnaire, and the questionnaires say for example 30 questions are there in that questionnaire itself, and you are sending to your friends or something like that. Maybe first 5 or 10 questions they will attend properly. After that, it is going to be a random kind of word answering. So sometimes the that because of their unwillingness, error can occur. So that kind of errors can be considered as what, respondent error. And then finally we do have what, interviewer error. So interviewer error is nothing but the questioning error. It can be questioning error, a question which asked in a different way. The question that is incorporated in the questionnaire or the schedule, it is in one way, and the interviewer asked in a different way. That can be. Then second thing is the recording error. Whenever the respondent is giving the feedback or giving the answers, it was recorded in a different way by the interviewer. That is also lead to what, a recording error. Then sometimes respondent selection error. Respondent selection error is that the study is about a particular topic in hand, and you are selecting the respondent which nowhere it is connected with that particular topic, also leads to respondent error. Then cheating error also. Sometimes in order to save time or money, the investigator is not going to what say they want to collect information from what a particular area, say a tribal area or something like that. So instead of going visiting there and collecting information, they are simply filling it from their own, based on their understanding. So that is what we called as what, cheating error. So these are the three errors we do have in the non-response error. So major reason for non-response errors are some respondents who are part of the sample population do not respond. So we do have non-response error also. So non-response error is nothing but the respondents who are part of the total population, or the population or the sample, they do not respond. You are sending to them, you are keep on sending to them, but they are not giving any feedback. So as the name indicate, non-response errors are errors that occurs because of the non-response from the sample. They are part of the sample population, but they are not ready to respond. And this is actually this is all about our topic, that is sampling and non-sampling error, wherein we already discussed what is actually sampling and non-sampling error. So sampling errors occurs, any error that occurs during the sampling process. So if you are selecting a sample which is not representative of your total population, that is termed as the sampling error. Wherein the non-sampling error is as I said, it is an umbrella term that we are using. It is nothing but any error that occurs other than sampling error, we call it as non-sampling error, and we have discussed also what are the reason for sampling and non-sampling errors. Thank you for listening.